we've been hit with sucker punches. I mean, quality finishes, I have to say. I mean, the striker, his first angle's really tight, goes in off the post. Second one, left foot, really good finishes. So credit to him. I mean, they were excellent finishes. But from our standpoint, to get caught like that, then the third goal, corner, switched off. I mean, I think again, it's similar to Charlotte in so much as I think we've had multiple possession, multiple shots, except the goals that we gave away tonight, they were, I have to give credit to Orlando. Apart from the corner, they were really two classy finishes. The one where it goes in off the post, right foot, really tight angle, left foot, really solid finish. And then obviously we hit the inside of the post, we hit the bar, we have multiple opportunities and don't actually get in there. So it's a perfect storm, if you like. Really, really disappointing. No, I think we just got caught where, I mean, March goes through before, Greg makes a good save, and then we have possession, and then it's a breakaway, and he's at such a tight angle, it goes in off the post. It's an excellent finish, I have to say. And then we have a lot of possession. We didn't really create a whole lot first half, and credit to them. I mean, they sit in a low block, defend really well. And then you get another one where he breaks on the left hand side, catches it sweet with his left foot, and it goes in. Really, again, really good finish. So we've been hit with a few sucker punches. I think the corner that we give away and concede from a corner is poor. We don't expect that to happen. But then equally when you get it, it's going off the inside of the post and going off the bar, I think you start thinking, are we ever going to get anything tonight? So a lot of lessons for us. So we sit back down and we'll go through it again. We'll analyse and see how we can get better and see what we can learn from it with the players. Use it as a teaching moment, and then make sure that we're ready for a big game against Charleston next weekend. Well, there's key moments in games. I think when you look at a game like that where they score and it's really frustrating because you think, okay, we've got a lot of possession, we feel as if we're in the game, but once somebody scores a goal like that, you can't change it. So you need to react in a positive way, and then you need to try to get back into the game. And I think our decision making and our speed of play needed to be a little bit better, needed to be a little bit sharper. And then equally from my standpoint, there's things that I think I could and should have done better. So the first person I look at is myself. So I think there's a lot of things that I will be looking at, thinking how could I have changed things and what could I have done differently. So there's two ways of looking at it. It can become a very valuable moment for us that we sit down and we use it and analyse, and we can learn some really lessons, or we can come out with a lot of excuses and just say, oh well, that's just they scored 3 breakaway goals, and say, oh well, we were unlucky. Well, that's not how I operate. So we'll sit down, we'll analyse, and I'll use it as a teaching moment and learn as much as I can, both on an individual and then as a collective. We'll go from there. Look, I think for us, I think the speed of play needed to be quicker. I think there was multiple facets. I think that it was, from our standpoint, for the level of our play. I think when you look at how we tend to move teams around, I think we needed to move them around a lot more, a lot quicker. And I think there was multiple aspects that I think we tried to make points, but equally, it comes down to our reaction to the goals. I think needed to be a little bit sharper as well, a little bit brighter. But second half we were starting to throw everything at them, and on another night the one that Cams goes in off the post and you get a bit of momentum, then the one goes in and hits the crossbar, and then all of a sudden you're right back in it. But when that happens, as frustrating as it is, when the boy goes through and scores 2 really good goals like that, there's not too much you can do because they're excellent finishes. When somebody scores from a corner, you look at it and you get really frustrated. And I think there's multiple aspects that we'll be looking at and trying to use as teaching moments. But again, I can't fault the guys. I've got the utmost respect for our guys. I mean, the way they handle themselves, the way they push themselves every day, the way they keep going and keep getting after things, it's a proud moment still to be the coach, even though it's very, very frustrating to be on the end of a 3-0 loss. And I'll take the blame for that. It's up to me to do a better job with that, and I will for sure. Well, it'll be interesting to see from Mario comes. Obviously, they've got the game, the Jamaica Canada game. We'll obviously lose Mark, but yeah, I mean they're similar players, similar movement, similar speed, I think it was, again, as I say, you look at the angle he's at. It's a really good finish with his right foot, and he catches the one with his left, really sweet. And I think then from their standpoint, they've got the 2 goals, and they can afford maybe to sit even deeper and try and hit us on the break. It was up to us to try and break them down, and on another night maybe if them two hit the post, go in, and you take some chances, then it becomes slightly different. Well, we should know what could happen. I think that's the thing for us. I think that you look at the Harrisburg away game. You look at the games where Charlotte, where we go 2-0 down, we get back to 2-1, and then try to get back into it, and then give up a poor goal. So there's always been teaching moments and lessons for us to be able to take on board, and that's a great aspect of dealing with players that we've got. They're hungry to learn, and I would say the majority of them will be really disappointed, really frustrated, and will be craving, how we can be better, what can we learn from that, and then take all of that into the next week's training, and then try to be prepared for a massive game against Charleston next Saturday. Just a really frustrating night when you get it like that. Well, again, that's the type of attitude that'll see you drop down the league. That's not what we're about here. That's not what I look at all. I didn't think we got away with anything. There's a very valuable lesson there for us, and I'm not trying to be condescending or disrespectful. It's our mindset is we have expectations of each other. We like to learn from as many aspects and as many experiences as we possibly can, and it's a really rough experience to try and sit and learn from, but again, that's how you get better, and I think that's how you strive for the standards that we have here. That's what we keep doing, so it's exactly what we'll be doing again.